Alrighty, folks. Last week, thanks to leadership.com, we indicated that Seattle, aka King County, is the worst housing market in the country. Yes, it has the largest year-on-year price drop, taking over from Denver. But you know what, folks? That was yesterday's news. We just got an update for May, and we need to find out, is Seattle and King County continuing to fall apart? Are transactions crashing? Are prices crashing? Is active inventory exploding and pendings collapsing? Because again, that's what the doomers want us to know. But of course, Beth is a top 1% agent who is going to make lemonade out of lemons regardless. But you know what?
Right.
What's rest of King County doing? So Beth, welcome to the channel. Let's start with transactions.
Yeah. So transactions, closed sales. So the answer to your question, like, is Seattle falling apart? Yes and no. Fair. It's really interesting and maybe not exactly what some of us would have expected. So when these nationwide reports come out, when they say Seattle, I wonder what are they actually talking about? It's more than just the city of Seattle.
So no, it's the MSA. It's the MSA.
And then you've got Bellevue and all these other Everett, Tacoma, all these areas that are really very, very different. Mm-hmm. But per the Northwest MLS, in May, Seattle transactions were up 6.59% year over year. And but the interesting thing is on the east side, which is not Seattle, again, more business friendly, et cetera, tends to be more techie, et cetera, higher price point, down 6.56%. So almost the same amount that Seattle was up, east side was down. So we're really seeing this split into King County. We're seeing it split into different segments. So
yeah, that's really interesting to me because again, real estate's one of these interesting things, especially with the closed transactions, because you have to have what's called a meeting of the minds. You not only need a willing seller, which is just listings, but you also need a willing buyer. And oh, by the way, you need a deal that closes, right? Appraisals and conditions and all those other things.
Yeah.
So to see that Seattle, the city proper of Seattle, is up 7%, but King County is down.
East side.
Sorry, east side.
Bellevue, Redmond, Sammamish, those areas.
Yeah. East side is down 6.5%. Transactions.
Higher price point. So east side's price point is 1,510.
Wow.
Median.
Okay.
But that's down from 1,6335 a year ago.
Okay, so down $100,000 roughly.
Yeah, and Seattle is at $1,037,500, where it was $1,010,000. So they're actually, well, I won't skip ahead, but their numbers are holding up. But it's a lower price point. If you think about it, that's quite a bit. That's
50%.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
1.5 to $1 million. That's a 50% higher. So okay.
Yeah.
So King County. I'm sorry, I keep saying King County. East side.
Yeah.
Higher price point, bigger lots, more. Probably stock market business owners,
right. And they're more like housing developments. Like the housing stock was built average year, I'd say is probably 1995 or so, right when all the Microsoft boom was happening and all of that. Where it used to be more rural way back in the day. And then housing developments came in and just developed all of the east side into these higher end developments for people that can commute to Redmond, Microsoft in Redmond, and then in later times, it became more Amazon focused, and then everybody else in Bellevue, which has a lot of tech. So
okay, all right. So transaction wise, we have the east side down 6.5, Seattle, the city, up 6.9. Let's see if we can go to price now. What's going on with price in those two segments?
Seattle up 2.66%.
Wow.
East side down 7.56%. It was a pretty significant drop.
Yeah.
And that, with the I'm boots on the ground, and we see this every day when we're doing this on an individual level. Like we are seeing prices when I'm coaching sellers who are bringing their houses on the market now. We're looking, we're definitely taking a more aggressive stance on the pricing recommendations and looking at what neighbors are selling for, which is not what you would have expected. In some areas, I'm seeing it more aligned with prices we were seeing in 2023, spring of 2023.
Wow.
So we've had but again, we haven't had a lot of huge spikes and dips, since we haven't had a lot of huge price growth since the interest rates spiked in mid 2022. So that's kind of to be expected, right?
Yeah.
we've been bouncing around a lot.
So the higher price point east side, down in transactions, down in price.
Yes.
Seattle, the city, up in transactions, up in price. Okay.
Yes.
How about listings, available inventory, active inventory? What do we got going on there?
Seattle up 1.68%, which is some, not huge, you know, kind of pretty flat, I'd say.
All right.
East side is has 27.38% more inventory.
Oh,
and that's been going. I was looking at my numbers from last year just because I'm curious, you know, what we were at last year. Last year it was even worse. It was 103% more inventory on the east side this month last year over 2024. So this is not a new thing. We've been having this. Now, granted, we were going from almost zero. It felt like almost zero inventory to like, wow, now we've got some inventory. Now it's like, okay, now we have even more than that. So, and that's part of the reason why we're not seeing, I'm not saying they never happen, but we're not seeing as many bidding wars on the east side. And in my realtor groups, you know, you've got the people on Seattle side talking about managing their bidding wars and having review dates. And
makes sense.
And people, brokers on the east side are like, wow, I would love if we just get somebody to come to our open house. Like, anybody, please come with.
I got all these baked cookies nobody's eating.
Well, you know, closing cost credits, but rate buy down. This is what I want people to take away as investors is, hey, look for these opportunities here, because a lot of these sellers, they got to sell regardless of where the market is. And that's a lot of who's listing right now. So if you got a surplus of inventory and you've been waiting for a great opportunity,
time to go shopping.
They're out there.
Yeah. All right. We got one more category I want to dig into because, again, closings are interesting, but that tells me more about last month. I want to know about pendings. What's the action like there? What are pendings?
Yeah, pending. So down in Seattle, 1.19%. So again, pretty level there.
Yeah.
And then down 7.78% on the east side. So.
All right. So from my summary, the east side transactions are down 6.5%. Prices are down over 100 grand, 7.5%. Inventory is up 27% on top of 100%.
Notable thing, because that price, that's what's pushing the prices down without a doubt. That's what always does it.
And oh, by the way, activity is not that great, right? Pendings are down 7.8%. So when I look at all of these stats, again, my crystal ball says east side's got more pain ahead, right? Lots of inventory, seems to be growing, right? Still.
Yeah.
Which, oh, by the way, you know, if you're doing what Zuber talks about, right? Disrespectful offers, follow up 17 times.
Right.
I guarantee you there's motivated sellers on the east side.
Oh, without a doubt. We're seeing it, you know, and people are doing price drops, even ones that they originally thought they would never do. Like if they need to sell, they will do it. And there is maybe some more pain to come potentially, because the seasonality in our market is we're heading into the summer now. And for us, that's a slower season. It's the slowest season behind the holidays. The holidays are the slowest, but we're going into the summer with a lot of excess inventory that normally would be burned off, so to speak, pending sold by now. A lot of spring inventory for the spring that didn't happen. So it was starting to happen. We had some good activity going in February, et cetera. Then the whole thing with Iran blew up and everybody just pulled back, and it has not regained. I'm expecting though that we'll probably start to see over the summer, these listings will get picked off as we start to see its peak new inventory happening now and in April, May. And then once we get into June, it's going to be some, and then it's going to start dying off over July, August.
I don't know if you have this number, but maybe we can prepare it for next month. Which is totally fine. I'm willing to make a guess about the east side right now. And that is delistings or withdrawals over the next 90 days are going to be shockingly high. Because again, I think you clearly have a lot of motivated sellers. You clearly have activity is down. And I believe most of these people, well, clearly they want to sell. My suspicion is probably half of them don't need to sell. And again, Seattle's, market cycle is the summer is slow. So I suspect a lot of these people are just going to yank the property off the market, enjoy their summer, and maybe a few list in September, but I bet you most of these people wait till January or February of next year. I think the East Side is about to see record delistings. What do you think?
I think you're right. I wish it was easier to track that in our MLS, because a lot of times what they do is people cancel a listing and then relist it at a lower price point.
Yeah.
So they're not really, I'd have to get accurate numbers. You'd have to go listing by listing.
Too much work.
And I don't have the time for that. But I can just tell you that what I'm seeing is that, there are a lot of cancel and relists. And then some are like, I noticed especially the high end. For a while there, we had a flood of inventory at the top tier price.
Which is what, 5 million, 10
over
million?
3 mostly,
Over 3.
And then there was a whole bunch of them, and then some of them did eventually sell, and then a lot of them just aren't on the market. I'm like, oh, what happened to those? Oh, they're just not on the market, like you're talking about. Like I'm sure they want to sell, and they'll probably come back. I just had a conversation with somebody last night who was asking like what could change this dynamic that we have going on here, and I said, really, I don't expect anything to change about it until at the very soonest that it might change would be January next year, because that's when the reset happens after the holidays. Every year it's a reset, clean slate. We start fresh. That would be, I think, the soonest that we would see any significant change in the dynamic that we're seeing in the market right now.
All righty, folks, do me a favor. If you are a real estate agent or real estate broker, I want to hear from you. What were the transactions closed last month in your market? What was the price impact year on year? What was active listings and pending? Let us know in the comments below. I want to know if Seattle and East Side is unique. I want to know if there's other markets out there seeing something different. And of course, just this morning on the Daily Financial News, we talked about pending home sales, which price was up, 1.8% or something. So no 38% crash. Transactions were up a shockingly high 3.8%. But your boy called that better than the experts again. But hey, that's national stuff. I want to know about your market, your buy box. Yeah. Beth, closing thoughts?
No, well, so again, this is a season of opportunity for people looking out there. I think the long-term prospects are good, despite that's just my opinion. I feel like we've had some pain here, and that probably was needed because it was too frothy and too exuberant for too long. People were paying insane prices for any house, and that needed to correct and needed to come back down to earth. So I'm welcoming it. And again, look, there are sellers out there need to sell. So if you're a buyer looking to, ask for everything, ask for credits, ask for buy downs, ask for great price, put it all in there, make your offer. See what
nothing's changed for investors, folks. This is our year. The only people that are happy in 2026 are investors. Mom and dad selling their house, not happy. First-time home buyers, not happy. Investors who know their numbers, cash flow day one, 30-year fixed rate debt, write disrespectful offers, hunt for motivated sellers. Go get it. Beth, you are amazing. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.